Hello, this is a short video about Microsoft Word. Hopefully this will be the first of a series. The remarkable thing about Microsoft Word to me is that it is everywhere. And also it seems like it's been around forever. I've been in the IT industry for longer than I care to remember as a developer and a LAN administrator and a database administrator and a personnel manager and all sorts of stuff in the private sector and the public sector. And I've seen a lot of technologies come and go. PL1, OS2, CP/M, Smalltalk, Lotus Domino, C++, Smalltalk again, Java, JavaScript, Rex, Perl, blah, blah, blah. The list just goes on and on. And sometimes things change so quickly that I've literally come back from an intensive course learning the latest whizzy thing to be told that plans have changed. There's now an even later, even whizzier thing. So please go off on another course now and learn that. Word, though, bucks the trend. It sticks around. I've had Word at home since I bought my first PC back in the early Jurassic period. I've tried a few alternatives like LibreOffice and OpenOffice, and they're okay too, but nothing quite measures up to the real thing to my mind. And of course, it's in every office. But for some reason, in the work environment, people don't seem to know how to use it very well. Perhaps precisely because it's so ubiquitous, there's an assumption that everyone magically already knows how to get the best out of it. First off then, let's start out by looking at a few very basic things like getting into Word and the layout of the Word window. So, we start up Word. I'm going to do that by clicking on this taskbar icon. It will also be somewhere in the Start menu, obviously. But I'll start it from here for convenience. And Word opens up and we get the start screen, not unreasonably. So let's have a look at that. On the left, there's a list of recent files, last week and older. And handily, one can pin files to this pinned section at the top, which is a very useful way to help keep things that you're currently working on together where you can get hold of them. So for instance, if I want to pin this one, I just click on this little pin icon. It goes into the pinned list and I can take it out in exactly the same way. And it's back where it came from. On the right here, we've got the featured templates. Now, these are mostly templates that you can download from the web. I don't use these much, but they do look kind of nice, actually. There's some good CV templates here if you happen to be looking for a new job, like most of the folks where I work for some reason. At the top of this list are the local templates. Here's a couple I made myself. Here's one for personal letters and one for course notes when I do Udemy courses and things like that. And then at the top, there's the basic blank template, which is what I use most of the time, probably what most people use most of the time. There are two ways to start a new blank document then. One can either click on this thumbnail, which I'm not going to do at the moment, or just press the escape key on the keyboard. And pressing the escape key will take you out of the start screen and straight into a new blank document. So I'll press the escape key, and here we are in the familiar Word window with a ribbon bar at the top and a new document open in the text area below. Now we've got several tabs on this ribbon bar. Most of these are standard, but I've added a couple more because I've got the developer tab displayed. This has a lot of good stuff on it, recording macros and document templates and things like that. And maybe we'll look at this lot on another occasion. I've also added my own tab, which I've just called Quick, to give me easy access to a few things that I use a lot. So for example, if I want to add a drawing canvas, I don't have to go to Insert, Shapes, Drawing Canvas. I can just go Quick, New Drawing Canvas. Simple as that. That's a feature I find very useful. In fact, it's so easy to add a bespoke tab like this if you need it, that we might as well go ahead and have a look at doing that right now. because customizing the Word window a bit can make your life quite a bit easier. So first of all, click somewhere on the ribbon. That's a right click, somewhere in an open space. Could be here or on any of the other tabs. I'll go to Home, but you don't need to. So I'll just click on a bit of unincorporated real estate and hit Customize the ribbon. That opens up this Word Options dialog with a Customize Ribbon tab already selected. So let's have a quick look at this page. On the right here, we've got all the ribbon tabs in a kind of a tree structure. You notice that we've got Home, Insert, Design, Layout, and up here, Home, Insert, Design, Layout, etc. There's also my Developer tab that I added by just checking that box, and the Quick tab that you saw me looking at just now. And there are also some others which only display in certain contexts. We won't worry about those for now. Now, within each tab definition, we can see all the various groups of controls that it contains. So for the Home tab, which is what is selected when the dialog comes up, we see clipboard, font, paragraph styles, editing. And up here we see clipboard, font, paragraph styles, editing. So that all tracks. And if we click on the plus symbol next to one of those, we can see all the controls and subgroups that are within it. Again, matches this. So there's quite a lot going on this page, and it actually allows you to customize the ribbon bar pretty much any way that you want to, including changing these standard tabs. You can move tabs around, you can move groups and commands within tabs or from one tab to another. And you can add extra controls, pretty much do anything you want. I tend not to monkey around with the standard layout though, because I'm used to things where they are, and I don't want to have to hunt around to find standard things. But the option's there for those who want to use it. So I can find my customizations pretty much to the one extra tab that I have up here, which I change as and when my requirements change. So if I'm doing a lot of drawing, I might have a lot of shapes and things on there. If I'm doing other things, I'll have other tools to hand. So to add a new tab, we just obviously click this New Tab button. When I click that, it will create the new tab below whatever is selected, which is Home at the moment. So I press that, and you see we've got a new tab dropped in immediately after Home and before Insert. And you'll notice also it has a default new group inside the new tab. I can move the tab to any position. I just select the new tab entry and use the up and down buttons to move it around. You'll notice though that it's actually the group that Word has selected. So if I press these buttons, it moves the group out of my tab into other groups, other tabs. It's not quite what I wanted to do. So if I want to move the tab, I have to select the tab and then press my buttons. So I'm going to move that down to the bottom of the tree structure, which will make my new tab the rightmost one in the ribbon bar. When we're finished, it will come after my existing Quick tab. We can add more groups to this if we want to as well. Let's add another new group for what it's worth. And we can reorder those, not much point at the moment with nothing in them. So what we'll do next is we'll rename the tab. I'll call it something fairly generic like Extras. Obviously, if this tab had a more specific purpose, I might want to give it a more specific name like Shapes if it were for drawing shapes or something. So we've we've named our tab. Now we'll just name our groups. Same method. And you notice that for renaming groups, you also get the option to assign a symbol. I don't tend to use that because, frankly, it doesn't seem to me to do much. So I just rename them, and I'll call them just MISC1 and MISC2. That's simple enough. So now we've got a tab with a couple of groups in it. So I'll select the first group, and we'll get down to the business of putting some commands into that group. If we go over to the other side of the dialog, we have this drop down, choose commands from. And there are various categories you can choose from, including macros if you happen to have recorded any, which is quite useful. I tend though to just go to all commands, which gives me a fairly simple alphabetical listing of everything that's available. There are lots and lots of things available, and I can reveal without embarrassment that I have literally no idea what a lot of them do because they're so obscure. And occasionally you'll see multiple entries with the same name. This one appears to be a singleton, whereas this is a subgroup. You'd get a little help if you hover your mouse over them to see exactly what it is you're looking at. I'll select something more or less at random. We'll just have this draw vertical text box thing. I'll select that and press the add button, and it moves it into my selected group. And I'll add something else. Let's add edit footer, and they've both gone into that group. I will select the other group and shove something in there too. Oh, glow, that's always fun. And group. There we go. So we've got a couple of things in each group. And you can do as many as you want, but sadly you can only do them one at a time. So it's select, add, and so forth. And of course, equally, you can use the remove button to put things back, i.e. remove them from your group if you want to. So if I decide I don't want to draw vertical text boxes very much after all, I can select that, hit remove, and it's gone. And now I've just got the one thing in there, which is going to be a bit lonely, so I'll add something else. We'll add label, whatever that is, into our group, and now we've got that. So when you've got your groups the way you want them, you just press the OK button, come out, and here's your new ribbon tab with your new groups, including here a subgroup for glow. This is very nice, I think. That's a very good feature. And of course, you can go back in to customize a ribbon and change this all around again anytime you want. If you suddenly decide you don't need to do labels again, get rid of that. OK, and labels gone. Nice and simple. On a similar note, by the way, we've also got the quick access toolbar up here in the window title bar. This similarly gives you access to frequently used commands. By default, we've got save, undo, and redo, but you can also do others by just selecting one of these from the menu and it's added immediately, or you can go into more commands and we're into something very much the same in the word options dialog to customize the quick access toolbar. And again, we can go to all commands and we've got absolute oodles of things to choose from that we can shove up there. So a very customizable interface. So that's all pretty good and pretty flexible. Word is really very good at making life easy for you, making it easy to get to the stuff that you need to get at. In fact, the majority of the most frequently used stuff is to be found handily together on the Home tab already. Most people will use some of this we've got the font face and the font size, basic text effects like bold, italic, and underline. We've got bullet lists and number lists and text justification, left, right, center rather, right, and justified. And over at the far end here, we've got the find and replace options, which I guess most people will use from time to time, especially when working on larger documents. There's also a lot of other stuff on this Home tab, though, that in my experience people don't seem to use so much. So next time I'm going to take a closer look at a few things related to the Home tab. For now, though, I think that's about all we've got time for. I hope you've seen something of interest and will join me again soon.